Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today to talk about how I'm going with my low buy. So if you aren't familiar with this concept, what I've done this year is because I spent a lot of money on makeup last year, and it's not so much the money, like yeah, you want to save money, yeah, cool, that's good, but also I just find that I've got a lot of makeup and it's a little bit overwhelming, and I don't want to waste a lot of makeup. I like to use up what I can, so I sort of want to get my collection down to a usable collection. I know lipsticks, eyeshadows, highlighters, I'm never going to get through all of those, but at least if I had things like, you know, base products and stuff at a controllable amount, that they aren't going to go off and be wasted, then yeah, things just get out of hand, and I'm like, I want things to be a little bit more organized and whatnot. So this year, along with Haley, we decided to go on a low buy. Now you can do this in various ways. You can go on a no buy, which means you don't buy stuff. A lot of people will only allow themselves to buy something if they've used something else up. So if you use a moisturizer up, you can buy another moisturizer. But the way, and also people give themselves budgets as well. So you can only spend $50 in a month. And, you know, so it depends on what your goal is. If you want to reduce the amount of products that you have in your collection, it's generally limit the number of products that you can buy. Or if you just want to maintain your collection, once one goes out, another one can come in. But if you want to save money, you can limit, have a monetary budget of how much money you can spend, if that makes sense. So because mine was more about space and organization and wanting to have a collection that is manageable and not out of control, I decided to do limiting the number of products I can buy. So I limited it to 2 products a month. Now I know Haley's doing hers slightly different. She's talking about non-essential items. So she's saying, like, if she's out of a moisturizer, she can buy another moisturizer. Mine is more of a just, I guess, pure low buy, where I can't, if I run out of shampoo and conditioner and I buy shampoo and conditioner, that is actually going to count towards my 2 products a month. But the reason I pretty much did that was because I want to use up what I have, and I've got stuff under my sink till the cows come home. I've got at least 4 or 5 sets of shampoo and conditioners. I know I've got hair oil that will last me 2 years. So I don't want to include essential items as things I can buy, because I want to use those up as well. And I want to be like, have an incentive not to buy more, if that makes sense. So the only products that I consider to not count towards my low buy are products that are more about hygiene. So toothpaste, deodorant, sanitary items, and maybe even sunscreen. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to include that as a purchase or not, but those sort of like necessities, soap and stuff like that, those I don't count as goes towards my purchases, but shampoos, moisturizers, and stuff like that do. So since I give myself 2 products a month, if I don't use up those products in that month, they roll over to the next month. So overall in the year, I can buy 24 items, and I was doing really, really well. I wasn't buying any products from January through to the end of March. I didn't buy anything. So it was sort of like freeing, not seeing releases come in and be like, nah, I can't even buy those, so why even bother? So it was sort of like a good excuse not to buy stuff, and there was nothing that really tempted me in the first few months anyway. But in April, April I was up to allowing 8 products. I bought 7. So it happens quickly, and it happens, yeah. Another thing I want to touch on quickly before I show you the products that I purchased and tell you why I purchased them, was that I know that in my case, I can't really give good tips on how to do a low buy, because I'm in a sort of different situation where I occasionally get sent PR. Now in April, I went to a few events and I got a lot of PR, but in, you know, January, February, March, I didn't really get much, but there was at least, you know, maybe a thing that came in each month that kept me sort of like, ooh, something new to try. So I'm not your standard having a YouTube channel and stuff and being invited to events and occasionally getting PR. It is a different situation than just doing a low buy if you don't get that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's hard for me to give tips to people because it's a bit easier for me to maintain a low buy if I'm getting, you know, new stuff in every month or so. But one thing I did notice in the first few months was, so definitely telling yourself you can't buy it. Just don't worry, don't even look at it. Don't worry about it, you can't buy it. Like, that really helped. Also doing a project pan really helped because I wasn't really excited to buy new stuff because I knew I had to use up other stuff. So I was more dedicated to just using up my stuff. Also, my 1 month, 1 palette challenge was really helpful because I would kind of challenge myself to use 1 palette for a month and use it extensively. And it kind of kept my attention going. If you're doing this at home and you want something to keep your week quite fresh, you can do 1 week, 1 palette. If I didn't have to record videos and document the stuff, I'd probably do it that way as well. So there are tricks and ways that you can play with makeup that you've already got without it feeling like boring. So definitely change it up. Challenge yourself to try palettes and products that you haven't used in a while, sort of like shop your stash. But also if you do like project pans and you want to target certain products to use up and you can see the progress as the months go on, I found those to be really helpful at distracting me from wanting to buy new stuff. But the first purchases I made were actually in Adelaide, and they were of some Laura Mercier powders. So this is the loose setting powder, which is one that I've tried before. It's sort of like that really famous one that people talk about a lot. I like it. And then also the invisible loose setting powder. Now, I haven't used this before, but it's a more finely milled, like translucent kind of one. Anyway, they're powders. But the reason why I bought these was because Laura Mercier is exiting the Australian market. So on that news, I really like the illuminating under eye setting powder. But that's a really small tub and it sort of feels similar to this invisible one. So I sort of wanted to buy one for like under eye setting and one for like face setting. Now, I haven't used these. I'm not even going to touch these for a very long time. I've got a bunch of powders on the go, but I figured if I can't go and buy them in store very easily, while they're around, I want to have them. So that's why I bought these two, and that sort of started the purchasing. Then when we went to Meccaland, there was the Vlada MUA and Smashbox collection, and it was gorgeous. So we saw this highlighter and I had to have it. So it is gorgeous. It is called Prismatic Petal. It is like a gold shift to pink. I'm wearing it today. It is glittery, but it is phenomenal, and it is one of those products that sometimes you have to, instead of doing just a no buy where you can't buy any products at all, definitely give yourself even like 1 product a month that if you come across something this glorious, you can buy it without making yourself feel guilty, like it's your, you know, special purchase. Because if I passed this up and I didn't get it, I would be very upset because I enjoy it that much. Definitely worth the splurge. It is gorgeous, and it's one of those products that jump out at you being like, you don't have this in your collection, you really do want it, and if you missed out, you'd be upset. So yeah, it's always good to have like a little allowance for products like this that you come across that are like, you have to have them before they go because they are that special to you. Because if you don't let yourself buy that, you can be a bit shitty that you missed out. So that's amazing. Then I had microdermabrasion and a skin consult, and one problem that I've had over the last, I don't know, 6 months or so is my under eye area has been looking a little bit hollow, but also really sort of crepey. So I find that unless I use a really high quality powder to set my under eye area, just a general powder or even just a cheaper sort of loose setting powder like a Codier spun or something like that, it really makes my under eye area look really old and horrible. So when I had a skin consult and microdermabrasion, the lady that did it recommended this to me. So this is the Ultraceuticals MD. So you can only get this if like a medical professional has sort of recommended it to you, and you can only buy it at like certain, you just can't buy it in a store. You have to go and get it recommended to you, whatever. But it's the ultimate eye cream, and it is a vitamin A product, so it's like a retinol product. So I use this every second night. Very, very expensive, and I don't know if I've noticed a difference yet. So I'm a little bit like, damn it, it costs so much money. And I'm also a little bit like, damn it, I didn't see amazing results straight away, but I've only been using it for a couple of weeks, so we'll see. But I was recommended this because I was like, my under eye area is crap. And then Hayley was recommended this, which is like the face version. So this is the Ultraceuticals Ultra A Skin Perfecting Serum Concentrate. So once again, it is a vitamin A product, and very expensive, and it is supposed to dramatically plump and refine skin texture. So since I'm in my 30s, these are sort of products that are like good quality products you're supposed to start having to prevent like aging and, you know, do all that good stuff to the skin. So I thought I'm going to try these, and I bought them, and they cost a lot of money, and I nearly cried, but also it ate into 2 of my products. Now, technically, I don't have retinol sort of products in my collection too much. I've got 1 serum. I don't have an eye product. So if I was saying that I was buying non-essentials, these might pass as non-essentials, but for me these count as purchases because I've got serums, I've got eye creams, so these were a bit of a splurge and a very expensive splurge. So already that's 5 products. That was within maybe 2 weeks. I already bought 5 products. 2 were like because a product was leaving the market and I was like, I need backups. 2 was skincare that was recommended, and then 1 was just a glorious highlighter that I don't regret buying at all. But then I was after a specific type of nail polish. Now I went and I was like, I had a voucher for this, so I feel like it wasn't as bad because I had a voucher. But I was looking for like a really beautiful blue tone gray, like something that wasn't too blue, something that wasn't too gray. It was like a nice mix. And I got this nail polish that I'm wearing. On camera it looks a lot more blue. In real life it sort of looks like an anyway, but it's by OPI, so I bought this. I don't usually buy nail polishes because I've got so many of them, and I buy them and I end up going, I've already got that color. But I did check, I don't have any color like this in my collection, and I really like the formula, but when I was buying this I'm like, oh, it's gonna hurt eating into one of my low buys, but I did it anyway. And then the last thing was this YSL Tatouage Couture Matte Stain in number 1. It's not what I'm wearing today, but it's sort of similar. We got a dark color in the Meccaland bag, and I actually really like that one. Hayley doesn't like it, she thinks it's patchy. On me it wasn't patchy, but we were looking at these in Adelaide, and I wanted to buy this beautiful red, which was like number 1 red shade, and she wanted to buy a nude, and the colors we wanted were out of stock. So when we got them in the Meccaland bag, we're like, cool, interested in the formula. I really like the formula, but it wasn't the shade that we wanted. So we ended up just buying, when we saw them in stock, we just bought 1 each. So I've only used this a couple of times. It's a beautiful product, really nice color, but probably didn't need it because I've got many red lipsticks. So yeah, it's ticked over to May, which means that I am now allowed an extra 2 products. So technically I've only purchased 7 out of the 10 products that's allocated to me, but I still wish there was more of a buffer, because it is so easy to place an online order or go to the shops and all of a sudden you've bought 4 things and you're like, damn it. So yeah, I need to be very good this month. Luckily there's nothing I really want, so should be all right. But yeah, that's how I'm going with my low buy. That's why I'm doing my low buy. I'd love to know if you do a low buy, what are your sort of terms? Do you do a no buy until you like have used up a product and can replace it or whatnot? I'd love to know, because I think it's a really good way to limit spending and limit unnecessary spending, and it sort of makes you think very long and hard before you purchase anything. Alright guys, that was my update with my low buy. A few people have asked, so I thought I'll do a video, and yeah, that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.